Hey, what's up guys? Brandon here from BGA Entertainment, and today we reached 120 subscribers. My gosh, yes! We've done it, the first part of our big journey towards greatness. Now, I'm happy. I'm really happy. Every 20 subs we get, I always make a special. I've already got the 200 sub special. I know we're gonna do it at some point, but boy, do I have some announcements before we get into the meat of this 120 sub special. So first, most of my videos will be becoming more high quality, especially my gaming videos. Toymations, they're Toymations. They won't change. Because, they're supposed to be like this. They're supposed to kind of be weird, kind of sarcastic, little things. But anyway, my gaming videos, we do have new tools to use, and I will actually be, using proper editing software to do editing and make splice things up more interesting, so it's not just like me gathering wood in a Minecraft Infinity survival episode. So anyway, without further ado, let's get right into the special. Part 1, the beginning. So I think really, in the grand scheme of things, the idea for Toymations came from the fact that I had just gotten Amiibos and Disney Infinity and all this stuff, and I thought, what if it was cool if all these characters from Disney and Nintendo and Skylanders and all this stuff mashed up. And so I tried some in 2015 or something, and oh boy, it was before I had a phone. You shouldn't give second graders a phone, but I did have, so I did it with the PlayStation camera in Playroom, and just, I thought it was such an epic tale of, a betrayal and, all this stuff, but it was, what, I can't even remember. It might have been 20 minutes long, it might have been 12 minutes long. I can't remember. But anyway, it was I don't even remember what the first episode was, and if you want to watch it, gosh, it's got 20 views. It was probably the most views I ever had at that time period. I don't know how they got that many views. So I just kind of let it sit. I only had a few characters in there. There was one Skylander and one Disney Infinity character. I think it was my special edition transparent Mr. Incredible. So then I come back around a month later, thinking oh yeah, sure, let's do another one of these, because they seem to like the first one. So I make it, and by the way, at this point, I have 31 subscribers? At this point, this was quite a long time ago. My channel's been slow growing. But, so anyway, I make the second one, and it's much better than the first. It's got an intro, but it's still got me in the back doing all the voices and everything, and I don't even think at that point I had created the concept of doing other voices for things, because since that first Toymation video, I've gotten much better at doing voices. So I think in those two videos, that was the foundation. That was when I hit upon this gold mine that kept getting deeper. So basically, after that, I gave up on Toymations because I realized it was kind of weird. I didn't want to do it at the moment, and from there, I just kind of let it sit for a while. And then here comes around, we're getting ready to bring some stuff to donations, and I see this epic robotic layer with a big robot module, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this. And this is gonna look familiar to anybody who's watched any part of Exopolice. Part 2. Exopolice. So I think really the first episode of Exopolice was a very weak episode. I didn't prepare for it. I just saw these toys and was like, oh my god, let's make a story out of this. And it didn't work whatsoever. It was just a horrible mess, and the couch was the villain. I don't know. It was a very young child's fantasy. And that's what I was at the time. And I'm not that young anymore, but I still do have, and I learned a lot. I think I liked the concept of the Exopolice module, but I needed something else. I needed characters. And that's kind of where I kind of went, because basically my first idea for this whole thing was to create a like, what would I even call it? Like a robotic dystopian world. And even in the first episode, going back and rewatching it, I made so many errors, like saying North America was a country, not a continent, things like that. And, I am explaining some of these things in the later episodes of the new series, but we'll get to that later. So anyway, we're going along, and I don't do another episode for a very long time. But then suddenly, out of the blue, I come back, better than ever, with Exopolice Episode 2. And Episode 2, New Base Blues, that was setting the standard for what Exopolice would be for the next 18 episodes. Actually, 19 episodes, because I do count episode 20, part 1 and part 2 as separate episodes, just they're part 1 and part 2, but, anyway, so in that video, we get the introduction of the Exo Castle, we get the introduction of Bill, which he's down with where the Toymation set is now, and, we also had the introduction of the actual setting for Exopolice, not my living room, but my bedroom, and I really did try to flesh out the world in the following episodes. Like, I know in the first episode, I don't even remember if there was a villain. I think there was, like, a malfunction with the base, and that's why it was called New Base Blues. So then in the third episode, this is where things get interesting. So Episode 3 was the introduction of Dan and Trayaurus, and these are possibly the two most important characters in the entire Toymation saga so far, just because of the fact that they're not from this time, and that was only revealed very recently. They're not from this time, and at least Dan is actually Dan TDM, which that's obvious because, Bill is Exploding TNT's character, and Dan is Dan TDM, and Trayaurus is Dr. Trayaurus from Dan TDM. I'm trying to make these characters not like what they're actually from, because if I did that, I think it would be a much worse show. So, I basically did that, and I created this villain, the electromagnetic ball, and I'm going to, he's a Perplexus ball. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. There are only like one good one, and it's this one, because all the other ones, the balls get stuck in them, but it's basically like a turn it around to get the ball to the end thing, But anyway, they were holding Dan captive and Trayaurus captive, and I think really the biggest part of this was the fact that the electromagnetic ball secretly created White Skull. Now, going forward, we had the introduction of General Klutz, which, obviously, if you watched the finale of Exopolice, he was the big villain, kind of. It was really Crowley, which, if you've seen that meme, I don't know, I think I'm trying to do that meme justice in the Crowley character. He'll be coming back. A lot of characters will be coming back, but later, in Toymations. So So, I did that. We keep going on. Episodes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 just fly by. Everything's going great. People are watching them. And then we get to episode 10. And before episode 10 starts, I lose Dan's head. Like, I literally lost it because before I realized I was not tightening his head all the way, his head would come off very easily. Like, I could turn him upside down and his head would go, like, right off. And I lost it in an episode, and I did have that in a joke in one of the, like, 6, 7, 8, or 9. I had that as a joke that his head would fall off because I didn't really know what to do about it. And then one day, disaster struck, and I lost his head. So I was like, crap, what am I gonna do? And I looked everywhere for it, like absolutely everywhere, and I could not find his head no matter what. So I was just like, hey, what if we kill off Dan? At least for now, until I find his head. So that's what we did, with Exo Police episode 10 being the first major benchmark in the Exo Police series, and it was supposed to start a darker, more intense storyline, and I don't think I did that very well in that episode. I almost redid it in episode 20, but I did it much, much, much better. So that went along, and we went to episode 11, and then episode 12. Episode 12 was a very interesting episode. It had the introduction of the character Silver, or Sliver. I think it's actually Sliver. That's just kind of a joke from Peter Knetter, but I don't think he's appeared in a very, very long time. But anyway, it was like he was like a time traveling, he was basically Silver, but in the Exo Police universe, because that's what he was. And so I get him in, and I basically were about to move right on that day. That was the last Exo Police episode in the original Exo Police set in my bedroom. And in my first bedroom anyway. This is my new one, and well, that's already done. They've moved down to another set already. But anyway, they at the end, it was like Silver went back to his time and everything was messed up. Amy was basically being a dinner bone. If you guys don't know what that is, it's from Minecraft. It's a code you can use to turn stuff upside down. But anyway, it was like you do that, and then I don't know where to go from there. What do I do? Because originally, Sliver was actually episode 12 was originally going to be the start of a new Exo Police saga with Sadama from One Punch Man. He's One Punch Man, and I think I did have him in there for like a second somewhere, but now he's no longer there, and I replaced him with Silver because I couldn't figure out how to do his character, and I kind of based him off of Alphys from If Undertale Was Realistic, because I thought that would be kind of a different turn of events for a Silver-like character, because Silver is so edgy all the time. He's like, I must take back my world, and stuff like that. And then this Silver is just coming along and talking about getting some KFC. So, That's how that went. And then episode 13 and 14, that happened when I moved here finally. But not here. I was at another house. And I just thought I had to make a video here. And so I kind of did this thing because I brought Bill, and I had finally found Dan's head, and I figured out how to get it on tight. And I hadn't bring bigger White Skull, but I had brought smaller White Skull, which is White Skull's from Terraria. I don't know if you had known that, but he is. And he has these smaller minions that came with him. He had a smaller White Skull that you could, like, attach onto someone's head, and then you could do it with another one. And you can actually do it with a smaller General Klutz. I'll show you right here. He has the little thing in his head. So I could stick that on to Dan, actually. And I think at one point I was planning to do that. To have Dan come back as, like, a white skulled evil Dan. But then I decided against it. And so, I had White Skull to the rescue, where he was kind of the good guy. And then so we get to episode 16. And we're here. Exopolice Castle is set up here, where it's been the past few episodes. And I go, and I'm trying to set up this whole new lore about the world, about gods and people. And I was trying to turn Bill and Dan into, like, a god and things like this. And it all, like, fell apart. I wasn't even numbering the episodes right. I only very recently fixed that so there would actually be 20 full episodes. And so I get in, and I'm like, all right, I need to fix this. I can't do this anymore. I'm not motivated. So I'm here. I've done episode 19, and I'm thinking, all right, I've done this a while back. How am I going to do this as the final episode of Exopolice for good and move on to something else, keep a few of the characters, but bring in other characters too? And that's when I started doing the .mp4 videos. And originally there was going to be a lot more of them. Like a lot more of them. And by a lot, I mean that I was going to make separate Crowley A and Spider-Man ones, and Spider-Man have a bigger role in it. And I was going to make some ones about the Skylanders again. Maybe even bring back the original Toymations characters. Heck, I even have one of the original Toymations characters right here. Obviously, it's Mickey. Then I had the Sonic and Luigi amiibos and, someone else. I don't remember. But anyway, that's how it went. And epically, the universe of Exopolice was completely demolished, and obviously in the latest Toymation, we've revisited it. But then, next Saturday, I think, Toymations, The New World arrived. Part 3, Toymations. So they reach this new world, and it's on my desk where I work and put tags and make thumbnails for my videos. And they meet this new character. It's the Lego guy. And he's very suspicious. I'm pretty sure you can tell. Apparently, he's Sliver's boss. But he's not really. He's impersonating him. And I mean, I'm giving spoilers, but I kind of want to. And anyway, so that's kind of where we are. We've basically just started. We got Traoris back into the mix, but with a more defined role than just being like, oh yeah, you're a scientist too. No, he's now the captain of a space station. And that space station was actually supposed to be the setting of episode 1. Where it was supposed to come out the day after Halloween, and there was a Halloween riot going on because they were trying to shut down Halloween, so everyone was like super mad at them. But anyway, this is like where we are. We've evolved so much from the first episode of Toymations on to the second episodes of the new Toymations, and there's so much more to come. I can't wait. And I'm gonna be doing lots more in the future, more high quality videos and things like that. So, I guess that's about it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. This is Brandon from BGA Entertainment, signing off. Goodbye.